you really have to think about when you're considering putting people on a short-term basis into a house. Is that a good fit? Is that the best use of that property? So we look at private, more private spaces. So we don't want immediate neighbors encroaching on us. We also look at markets that have really strong tourism industries. So, growing up, my parents ran a bed and breakfast out of our house in Keystone, Colorado for my entire childhood. There was existing B&Bs and short-term rentals long before Airbnb ever came around. They just were only in these towns that were exclusively tourism destinations. So it wasn't that your neighbor in LA County was renting out their house on that kind of basis, but it existed long before these platforms. So I think there's a way to do it responsibly, and a lot of that is finding the right property where Airbnb truly is the best use of the property, not trying to force that use on a property that's not a good fit for that.
And I'd say also find a town that has a mature policy on it. For instance, Palm Springs was pretty strict, but at the same time, we were getting a more and more strict ordinance. The neighbors were up in arms and the ban was coming, but the ordinance rolled out, and it's very, it limits how many people you can have in the house daytime, nighttime, how many cars you can have. You have to have paperwork signed when the guests come. You have to do a personal check-in. There's a lot of, the taxes have to be done every and there's all kinds of audits they do. So you have to make sure your federal return matches what you're telling the city. They're up in you. You've got to really pay attention. But so that kind of limits the risk, right? It's kind of taking it to the edge. So now there's this equilibrium where we're living this world where there's hosts and guests and the residents that live there full time, and everyone's kind of coexisting right now. But that being said, you also want to be in a neighborhood within that municipality